What's up, y'all? Take a moment to share the broadcast. Take a moment to share the broadcast, baby. All right, what's okay? You know, when we start booking these people, we need to start making sure that they promote it on their social media, Twitter. They need to like send out, you know what I'm saying, like tweet out in advance that they're gonna be on the show, etc. What's Glenn's thing?
So this is called Project Sincere.
And who's coming on?
The executive, he didn't give an executive name yet.
Okay, he needs to do better next
Yeah.
time, but okay. Project Sincere is about what?
This is about STEM program.
Inspires
Supporting youth needs with core
STEM.
engineering research experiments.
Okay.
So here's what I do at the end of all my requests. I'll make sure that
Let's put all the social.
all our social media stuff.
Yeah, make sure they include mine too.
Okay.
Uh,
get a chance for your social media that you want me to make sure everybody have. Besides the May Jackson page, there's more.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. What's up, y'all? Take a moment to share the broadcast. Good morning. Who is out there rocking with me?
There's no woman's bathroom. Have you seen it? I saw that we don't have. Like, what the hell? Look, how would people take them big ass things? Oh, leave it. Like, it's so damn big, and then you don't call to say, yo, I got it, right. That's not me. What the hell? But what I've learned is if you make people pay, they don't pay attention. Oh, here it is. I told you it was right there. What was it in the drawer? It's sitting on something. Yeah, on the top.
All right, y'all. What's up? Take a moment to share the broadcast. We are ready to rock and roll almost. Let's go.
You got your own, you took this off, mic screen?
Yeah.
You got your own?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanna know.
Oh yeah. I've been at it for like a couple years.
Well,
since
no,
I've been
'cause,
doing-
you know, I come in and I try to set it up, you know, you guys, so that I'll know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
No problem. All right, y'all. Y'all a little early. I'm a little early this morning for you. Take a moment, share the broadcast. I'm feeling good. Let's get this thing cracking. Who's here early so y'all can get y'all shout outs? Make sure you answer uh, the social media question of the day. Me close. I wanna ride. How y'all feeling? That's a nice look. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Black or white? Take a moment, share the broadcast. How y'all feeling this morning? This weather is crazy. I'm gonna go to Maze Jackson. I'm gonna go to. How y'all feeling? Is everybody good this morning? What's up, Tiger? What up, Clifton? What up, Carmen? What up, Kang? What up, Blake? All the way down in Springfield, Blue Fire, you know, and Go Mob to all of that. What up, Corey Mack, my man down in P-Town? Glad to see you got your expungement taken care of. Shout out to JGB on that piece. What up, Tony Romero? What up, Oscar Ortiz, Yashika Wadi? What up, Katrina Washington? What up, Regina Gibson, Carolyn Ray? What up, Dawn Johnson? What up, Triana Johnson? What up, Tamiko? Glad that everything worked out well yesterday. I do like the bottles. Let's talk about it though. What up, Val Free? What up, Linda Jennings? What up, Shipper? How's everybody this morning? What up, Milton? What up, Marcus Rogers? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody in a moment to share the broadcast. 300-page medical marijuana bill that is out. Do we have regular TV on this? Do we have real TV or just the... Okay, nobody wants to answer me. It's all right, though. I'll see how y'all do. I'll be back. I'm speaking today at the... I will be speaking today at College of DuPage for their hip-hop summit. That's pretty cool. So if you have some time and you feel like you want to come on out, you're more than welcome to come on out. Really? See, you talk about me. That's the bourgeois elite. What up, Roy Royal? What up, Rhonda Spry Payne? What up, Rod Crowder? What up, Milton Ingram? What up, Michael Johnson? Are you kidding me? Oh, I was about to say. Don't miss. All right. $30 seconds till it's time to start? You said 30 seconds? Damn. Y'all, I'm not. Sonya, she came back not playing, y'all. What up, y'all? Make sure you answer the social media question of the day.
Videos at WVON. We're your original social media. You're listening to The Morning Show with Maze Jackson on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Rise and shine. Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show. Wake up!
What up, y'all? Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's time, it's time, it's time. Let's get this thing Chris Akin. What up, Clifton? What up, Carmen? What up, King? What up, Blake? What up, Jeff Johnson? What up, Tony Romero? How y'all feeling? What up, Double J? What up, Aqua? Wake up! What up, what up, what up? What up, Felicia Gatewood? What up, Diane Scott? Wake them babies up. What up, Alpo Any? What up, Alvin E. Norton? What up, Rhonda Spry Praying? Rod Crowder? What up, Michael Johnson? Let's get this thing. What up, Marcus? Let's do it, baby. Let's get free up in this bad boy. Shaddies up. Take a moment, y'all. Come on, rock with me. Let it be, na 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 na. The world won't get no better. Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the WVON Morning Show. It's a Wednesday. I'm your man, Maze Jackson, and he's back in the seat, back in the saddle. It's my man, Todd Stroger. Todd, how you feeling this morning?
Top of the morning. I'm Irish for the rest of the week.
You know what? You're Irish for the rest of the week. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you, you start doing that. Let me tell you, learn from me. Don't be saying that Irish stuff and saying you black Irish or Blyrish or none of that. Because I'm telling you, COINTELPRO, somebody will cut it, clip it, and play it back for you and be like, even if you was just having a good old time. So you be careful what you say out here.
Maze, I have no good filter, and I've been foolish when I want to.
I heard that. You know
I'll
what?
take my beat.
You, as you have, you know what? I know the feeling, Todd. I think that both of us have, I think we both resigned ourselves to saying whatever we want to say. Because you know what? It ain't too much more they could do to us, huh?
Not much left.
There's not much left. It's like, but we come back stronger than ever. Who would have thought that, you would have run this? Think about this, 10 years ago. Who would have ever said Maze Jackson and Todd Stroger will be hosting the morning show at WVON?
Nobody.
Nobody in their mind, and look at what we got right now. I'm telling y'all, it is the WVON morning show, Maze Jackson, Todd Stroger. But let me do this. Let me say what's up to the rest of the morning show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom? Annette, how you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great. With me. Rain.
Come again some other day.
Please. Well, we're going to get that wish. So that's what we sang the song. We're going to get it. Rain is finally going to clear out after this morning.
Well, you know what that means, that the flowers, rain, go away. April flowers bring May. April showers bring May flowers. I can't wait for the flowers to come out.
May 1st. Happy May 1st.
May 1st. Is this May Day?
It's May 1st, y'all.
Mayday.
Mayday, Mayday. I never understood what Mayday meant. I always thought it meant that your microphone didn't work, like your walkie-talkie. But apparently Mayday is something else. Sonia, my producer, super producer, please find out what exactly Mayday is.
It means
Unless
trouble, if I remember.
it doesn't
I'll
mean
look it
trouble.
up.
Why do I feel like it means
It's
like
a nautical term.
it's a nautical term? But
I'm not sure. I'm gonna look it up.
I also thought it was like a holiday. Like I thought it was a day of remembrance or something. Like, did France get their butt kicked again on this day, some kind of way, and we commemorate it? We'll figure it out.
It's going to be fine.
All right. Well, let me say that you heard that. You heard that. Zzz. So that electrocution sound, that is the Wonder Twins activating. That's right, Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins. Ladies, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm ready to start this show.
I am ready to get this thing off the ground too, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm excited about some of the things we're gonna be talking about today. But you know what? That is Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins, still same hair color. Boyfriend still holding out. He's like, when will I get the new? How long does he have? About another week? And he got about another week, and then he will get a new girlfriend. Because if you don't know, Sonia Tompkins, the super producer of the WVON morning show, if you see her out in person one week, you may not recognize her the next week, because you'd be like, remember that one time you had? You know what? I'm already off the chain. Let's do this. Let's get the soul plane up to 50,000 feet. Sonia, get this thing up in the air. Todd, and let's run through some of these headlines.
Oh, before you say that, I looked up May Day.
Yes.
And it is a May celebration that, from what I see, is in the traditional Catholic European countries.
As are all the holidays. You don't hear nobody talking about some Wakanda Day. All right, well, Wakanda was imaginary. But, you know, we did get Martin Luther King Day. You think we'll ever get, like, Malcolm X Day?
No.
I think they tried to take...
Well, no. Spike Lee had to get his money from black millionaires through that movie, because traditional money that would come from Jewish people who are producers wasn't coming for that film.
Ooh, that's right. No wonder he didn't. That's why he didn't get an Oscar, but he got one for. He got.
Yeah,
You know
that
what?
film was great.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, that film was great. You know what? I'll never forget the long time coming. A change is gonna come. When he was when he was on the spike, you know, and it's like the look. You know, it seems like
You know, that was the Mississippi Burning too, and that was a powerful scene too.
What? Oh, yeah, it was too. You know, Mississippi Burning was a hard one to watch, bro. That one was boy. I was, you know, and they had hyped it up, so it's like it was one of those dark. I just had a dark feeling when I went into the movie theater for that. All right, speaking of dark feeling,
Mace,
yes.
what is Four Eyes and Can't See?
Me.
Mississippi.
All right, cut his mic off. No, all right, all right. Then Todd, we need the womp womp womp. All right, check this out. First of all, but though, how about this? University of North Carolina, 2 dead, 4 wounded as a gunman shot up the campus at UNC North Carolina.
Yeah.
Todd, these shootings, these mass, I feel like there is, you know how you were talking about the group of white supremacists that egg each other on?
Yes.
I feel like we're seeing it happen right now.
Yeah, that is definitely what's going on. I mean, they've been communicating for years, and in the internet, and probably on the black web, as they say, on the dark web, right?
Right. Well, you know, I've never been there. I'm
dark web.
scared to go.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just them getting that final bit of, all right, I got everything. Everybody's saying this is what we should do. I'm going out there.
I'm gonna go kill me people. You know what, man? I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell y'all what. I'm on high alert with random white people. If I see a random white person in a black space or somewhere that he ain't supposed to be,
Your antennas are up.
I'm telling you. See, this was segregation. This was segregation count. Right? It's like now the thing is, to me, Todd, we do shootings, black people do shootings and they happen daily, but white folks do shootings and they just get a lot of people.
Yes, that's planned to kill a lot of people.
They
That's what
they
it's
go
planned.
out sadistically planning to kill not their enemies. They plan on killing innocent people.
Right.
You know, we're gonna have to talk about this one day. Did you see Robert Mueller express concern about Barr's representation of the Mueller report? Basically, say, man, why you lie on me? You know, I remember you say, why you lie? Don't you lie on me?
Why would we not expect this? You can tell Barr with all the redactions. He was trying to say as little as possible about the report.
You know what? I'm gonna still tell you what. I'm about tired of this report. Like, they need to put this thing to bed. They're gonna need to do what they need to do because I'm about tired of hearing about it. But speaking of that, apparently the Democrats think that they need to come up with something else because did you see yesterday Donald Trump, Chuck, and Nancy all got together and agreed on a $2 trillion infrastructure package?
Hooray!
Yes. See it? Okay. Black people, wake up. You see that? Remember how I tell y'all while Tia Maxine is outside telling y'all resist, while all the black caucus is like, we not meeting with him, nothing. Chuck and Nancy just went and got a $2 trillion to get road construction, infrastructure, all that. Now guess who that's gonna be? Not you. Because how many of you black people really are working on the expressways? You complaining about the construction and all the jobs now. So they just went and got $2 trillion. Your leader's been telling you to keep your mouth shut. Don't say nothing. Meanwhile, Chuck and Nancy sitting right on the couch. Did you say $2 trillion, Donald? We'll meet you in a minute. See it? They hustle right on over. Hey, Trump. Hey, Ty, you see how that works?
Yes, even when Rome burns, you still got to spend money.
You got to pay to put the fire out. And so, good God, black people, can we please get some political knowledge about ourselves? Homewood Flossmoor students, we covered this yesterday before it happened, but after it happened yesterday, approximately 1,000 students from Homewood Flossmoor walked out of school making this. That is a lot of kids, a lot of young people. I don't want to get called out,
You're right,
but
that's a lot of
kids.
young people.
That's a lot of young people who walked out of the schools, and I'm actually saying I'm proud of them. You know what I went? You know what I saw a lot of famous people starting to pile onto this issue. I don't. You know what? I'm gonna let it go.
You want to keep them out, and you want the kids to do their business.
I want the young people to
I'm
do
just
their
guessing.
business, and black, like, sometimes we can stay out the cameras, and be the elder, right? Sometimes let the young people, let the narrative be the picture of the young people standing up for themselves, because I'm gonna tell you that sometimes when the high profile activists get in front of it or get in front of the camera, it kills the credibility among people who would ordinarily be responsive to it. And I think sometimes we want to help, but the best way to help is from behind, to illuminate, to push the young people forward, try to make sure they don't make any mistakes or limit as many mistakes as possible, but let them have their moment.
Homewood kept them out. They put a barrier so any adults who wanted to come in could not.
But apparently some got in anyway. And let me ask a question. What is with the white girl being the person that was the spokesperson for this whole thing? Like, why did the news only find this white girl? The black kids got the black face and still the white girl got to be the face. You know what? Let's talk about it when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
More of the morning show with
So did y'all see that the news stations showed the white girl answering the question saying it was wrong? That really ticked me off too. Okay, Todd.
That doesn't bother me as much.
It did to me because it's like these black kids done got together, organized for themselves, and then the person you put on the news is the white girl?
You always need somebody from the other side.
No, you don't.
You do. We wouldn't have gotten out of Jim Crow because, face it, country's 70% still white. It's not like we are the majority of it anyway. So, I mean, I see having somebody on the other
As the focal point of the spokesperson?
of the neighborhood. Well, I don't know. I didn't see it, so I can't really speak to it. But if that's who they chose, I'm all good with
That's who the news chooses. The people didn't choose.
No, well, there you go. The news is a strange thing. It's not like I like the news report.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, so I'm not gonna say it on air, but I do feel like some of our high-profile activists um, were doing too much yesterday, and it's like I feel like I saw too much activists in the camera as compared to students. I think that it's sort of like when you do, like I was saying, that some of the people should not have gotten in front of a camera on Kim Fox because it's like waving a red flag to the people who you need to convince, not to convince, but
People in that space who certain groups don't trust.
right, and I'm saying that they, I think the children were getting enough buzz. I think you can go, maybe somebody goes with them to the negotiation table, but I don't think that the look in the camera, like, let's be clear. Once you stage one of these events, you're supposed to maximize the media content from it. And so if you're gonna maximize it, remember how I always tell you, like, here's the picture, here's the snapshot. If I'm gonna do an ad for or against, I try to control the scenes so that every scene that you get, if you see me at a rally, you probably won't ever catch me looking off. You're gonna always see me with a stern face. You're gonna always, because I know that they're always looking for that duh shot, right? And then that's the shot that they always put on, right? Like, think about the shot they're showing to Kim Fox now, right? It's the hair split down with her eyes rolled. And so understanding that, I also am very cognizant of what does the camera see, right? And because most people are only gonna know this story.
$7.50 for Glenn.
Okay.
And he's gonna give me the guest name and title.
Okay. I think about, what does that snapshot look like? What does that mailer look like? And will this person help me or hurt me with the audience that I'm trying to convince? So, I'm not gonna go off on nobody. I'm just gonna say that it was a reason that I didn't necessarily I don't go to a lot of these rallies, because I feel like I could become a distraction, or the press knows they'll get a good quote out of me, so they say, ooh, there's Mays, give me him. And I may not be the best person to speak on it, but because I'm familiar, and y'all know I'm a media whore. I can't lie. I am. I know it. So I try to make sure that I don't put myself in a position where I take away from people or take away from the cause. That's all. You got it. Give it up to the tower. Oh, you got give it on. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man Todd Stroger. And Todd, we are talking our morning headlines. Shout out one more time to the young people out at Homewood Flossmoor who stood up for themselves, who decided they were going to walk out of school. Now, I always be thinking, when people walk out of school, is it really like a chance to go to Subway? A chance to go get you, like, since you don't have an open campus.
No, I remember being young, not quite that young, and marching on South Africa like an awful lot. But I think most people, and when I say most, I mean at least 98%, were there because they wanted to make some noise about the issue.
I think I believe that in some cases these are called win-wins, right? Where it's a win-win-win. You get to stick it to the teachers, you get to walk out of school, and you get to go get some lunch. But I want to say I am very proud of our young people for standing up for themselves, for organizing, and then for getting out doing it. And we didn't hear any incidents of violence, you know what I'm saying? And let me tell you what I do think, though, right? I do think that black people, black parents black people. We need to be present at these events. And when I say present, not camera present, in the background present. I'm going to tell you that because of the way that happened and because of what the situation was, I could easily have seen a group of white nationalists showing up, and where does that leave our kids, our young people? So I am suggesting that, again, I know y'all get mad at me, I know y'all don't want to hear me, but I'm telling you we need to start being able to secure ourselves, secure our families, and secure our young people. Sonia, I sent you some audio earlier. I don't know if you saw the story about the bookstore down, that there was a bookstore opening and it was politics and poetry, and a group of white nationalists showed up, Todd, and this is what they said at the book signing. Now, Todd,
I don't even know what they're doing now.
well, I think, Todd, what it was, though, is that white nationalists showed up to a bookstore and a book signing that was addressing white nationalism and white privilege. And so a group of approximately 10 white men showed up, and then that is what they did to disrupt the book signing. Now, the reason I point that out in context to this is, those were, and when you look at them, it was a bunch of what I would have assumed were pencil neck geeks. Like if they would have walked up out of the line, man, we'd have kicked their butt.
Mm-hmm.
However, imagine that same group showing up with the plan of disrupting and creating tension with our young people that march. Now, I just showed you yesterday the 3 white nationalist groups that have made themselves. There was another group called the Cracker Boys that really kicked this thing off. And I am suggesting that as our 1,000 suburban black children walked out of school in protest, there is another movement that is building. And I am just suggesting that we need to, as black people, when our kids decide they're going to take a stand, not rush to the camera, but rush to marshal and be there to protect them as they make these moves. Am I crazy?
I understand the protection issue that you were stating, but I also don't like when adults get involved in things. They tend to want to escalate things.
I agree. So I'm saying that's why we need to make sure that there's a group of adults that knows to avoid the cameras, but also needs to be on point. Remember I told
now
you.
you're talking about what I was talking about before, not on the air, but it's that the civil rights movement was not just, come on, we're going over here. It was very well organized, and all the people who rode buses and sat at counters, Rosa Parks, they all were trained for the day.
Exactly. And what I am telling you is, I told y'all before when we were on the Dan Ryan, there were white guys with uniforms, walkie-talkies, all that stuff observing. Right? And I am telling you that they are watching. We don't plan like that because we don't think it could ever happen. Let me go to the phone line real quick. Brother Hall, real quick. I got to go to break, but you can go ahead and take this call. We can go ahead with you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, let me just say this. All due respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson, Jeanette Wilson and that group can't lead me to a dogfight. You know, move out of the way. As you just said it, Eric, all of these drive-by activists, move out of the way. Let these young folks handle their business. My nephew was out there, and he was there yesterday, one of the organizers. So I know for a fact that they can do it. I'm just tired of people playing our young people, period.
You know, Brother Hall, I thank you for your call. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to denigrate anyone's intentions, and I'm not going to denigrate anyone who wants to help, because I think that I have done a lot of pushing people apart. But I really think that when we see our young people in an active position, we as adults need to, our job is to protect them. Now, remember, these weren't the animals that went downtown. These weren't the rowdy kids. These were kids who were young people who were standing up for themselves. Our job when they decide to do this is not to cloud their issue. Our job is to protect them as they express themselves. Now, we may need to help them with the terms of their negotiations so that they can be a little bit more strategic. Because, they just want Black history taught in school and they want an apology. Now, we teach them how to get some extraction. But in the meantime, I'm not going to talk about nobody. I'm not calling nobody out. All I'm asking is, brothers and sisters, when we see our kids do as we want them to do, then let's help them, let's push them forward, let's grow them. Look, when we come back, y'all, I want to continue this conversation, but from a different perspective. What do Black people value? Let's talk about it when we come back. A social media question of the day. I'll be back.
Live from the
So, I'm going to tell y'all, I could say names and I could say people, but that's not my point. My goal here is not to I'm not calling nobody a name. I'm not calling them drive-by. I'm not taking away from the work that they do. I am saying that that sometimes when stuff happens, guys, it's not it's like they organized, we're support. Right? You're there to support, not to hijack the situation. And that's what I feel like a lot of people have learned is to I'm telling you, them cameras are freaking sexy. I haven't had the relationship with the press that Todd has. I've had a relationship with the press where I say provocative stuff and the press is always gravitates to me, right? So I'm telling you, I can go to an event and I can see cameramen and respectfully, thankfully, they recognize me. They're like, ooh, go get Maze, go get a quote. It's very hard for me to say no. It is, because I always wanted to be famous. And I always wanted to be on TV. Now, and I told you I was activist for 7 days. So what I do is I try to keep myself out of those situations. Let that be the case, and then provide a platform. I think what happened yesterday was organic. And I think that when these organic situations happen, this was not in the inner city. This was in Homewood, Flossmoor. This is a place where our children are definitely at a competitive disadvantage. Right? They just are. You think something happened in the city and it's bad? If it goes down in the suburbs, you probably never see it because it ain't no cameras nowhere. And I just think that somebody has got to take the helicopter up and stop thinking reactionary and thinking who are the deacons of defense? Right? Who is on alert at 761? Not to be like 761st, but not on alert looking to start problems. But when you see the guy that I saw with the walkie-talkie standing over the Dan Ryan, who's the person that stands behind him with the walkie-talkie yeah, I got him. So that before he looking at our innocent, unarmed, unprepared people who are just fighting for our rights. I don't know, y'all. Maybe I'm crazy. But I just think these people be getting ready, and then it'd be when the thing happened in Charlottesville, we mad, and they pull out billy clubs and shields. Todd, you got that.
Yeah, I agree with him about being prepared. We have to have some people who understand the greater issue when they're out there. But there's things like what happened there, and no, nobody else came through. It was just the students protesting, which was good. And yeah, I mean, I agree with Mays about the black activists. There's space for you, but even this whole incident, I see it's more of a teaching moment than anything else. I bet you if you talk to most of the students, black, white, and in between, they can't even tell you what the true offense of the blackface would be. And minstrel shows and things like that. I just think they need to. I mean, they're talking about expelling the kids, and yeah, their acts were outrageous, but I don't know if it goes to that. Maybe the space, like May said yesterday, maybe the space that they're in might be hard to live now because the students know who they are. But I think it's more about, here's a good time to tell people, you got a lot, I wrote this on Facebook, knowledge can be a two-edged sword. So when people ask, should I be offended at blackface? Well, if you know what blackface means and meant, then yeah, you probably are going to be offended. It's just not somebody putting on some, shinola and going out and pretending they're black. It really stems from white people depicting black people on stage, but they could never depict them as people, they could only depict them as caricatures. And even the black people, if they got on stage, they had to be caricatures of black people. So this whole incident, I think, shows the true divide that still is in America, as we all live in separate neighborhoods. And I've really never been around Homewood. Well, I've been around Homewood, but not Flossmoor much. But my guess is it's like every place else. There's a black section, there's a white section, and never really get to know each other in that way that neighbors truly know each other. We don't need a hit squad.
We don't need a hit squad. We need black police officers to be off duty and be out there on the side of our children. Could you get that door?
Thoughts?
Pump up and bang, sunshine and rain, joy and pain. Pump it up, sunshine and rain. Listen to the raw bass kid. Big D. I see you, dog. The raw bass chicks it. The raw bass chills. Joy, pump it and pain. Sunshine and rain. Joy and rain. Sunshine and rain. And listen to the raw bass. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man Todd Stroger in the
Karen
building.
Crawford, that was for you. I remember you saying you love Crawford.
Oh, you don't be dedicating songs to other people, man. You better be careful.
Karen Crawford was my chief of staff.
Oh, that's right. I do remember Karen
Yeah,
Crawford.
I've known Karen since kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
We went to grammar school together,
What?
and we went to college together.
Which college?
Safeguard.
Is that the one behind? That's the one behind the billboard. But I got much love for Xavier, the school behind the billboard, because not only does it produce the most accepted people, black people, to medical school, it also produced my beautiful and lovely wife,
That's
President Carrie Steele.
And Karen was our SGA president for 2 years.
Really? Y'all had a student government association?
You kidding, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I was just like, I didn't figure y'all had too much government over there. I mean, was it like 50 students there? I remember.
Oh, 52. So.
You're right. My fault. My bad.
Shame.
Maybe 200. Okay, I got you. All right, y'all.
That's that Bolingbrook coming out of you.
Xavier, that's that Bolingbrook. You know what? I think Xavier was as big as Bolingbrook High School. But that's all right.
That might be true.
I don't think it is. I think we had a bigger
Those high
football.
schools are pretty big.
I think we had a bigger football field.
You must have, because we didn't have a football team.
Wait, how can you be a college no football team?
They had one when my dad was there.
Okay. Well, what happened, man?
Money, football is expensive.
Hey, man, y'all gotta have a football classic, man. Speaking of football classics, did you hear that Hampton and Howard are going to be at the Chicago Football Classic this year?
Yes, because you told me.
Okay, well, Hampton and Howard are going to be at the Chicago Football Classic this year. Shout out to my man Vince Bass. Shout out to the Chicago Football Classic. Yo, Everett Rand, I'm going to need me a big, fat, stupid suite. Right next to the, man, you know what, y'all? We need a morning show suite. That's what I think. I think we need us a morning show suite. Everett Rand, don't forget the little people, man.
When is that, in September?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Todd, I think you could probably
I
use.
can save up probably half for a suite.
You probably could save up half for a suite. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to save up the other half.
Man, we gotta get. You got five. All right, look, we got, man. We got, now when we do our suite, y'all, we gotta have some food. We gotta get it right. You know what I'm saying?
For that, I'm gonna have to get donors.
Well, we're gonna find us some. You know what I'm telling you, WVON morning show. I say we have a Lions Den. I say we have a Lions Den super suite. No.
The beehive is starting.
Oh Lord. You hear the buzz, the buzz. I am saying no, I do think we could do it. Let's do it. We should show out at the Chicago Football Classic this year. We should have us a tailgate and then go right on upstairs and have us, we should take some kids. This is what I think we should do for the Chicago Football Classic. We should tailgate as the Lions Den.
Mm-hmm.
We should, as the morning show Lions Den, we should get them to have us do a live broadcast from the parking lot. That would be off the chain.
That would.
And then we do a live broadcast for a few hours while we're eating everybody's food, and the Lions Den comes and hangs out with us. We bring a group of kids, everybody brings their family, and then we have a section in the seating, and then we also have like a super high-powered super suite that we give tickets away to. I'm telling you, I got the promotion all together. Vince Bass, Everett Rand, Tim Rand, Larry Huggins. Look at here. The WVON morning show wants to broadcast live from the parking lot, cause I'm with HU, man. I'm gonna be rocking with HU. I don't know which one, but I'm gonna be rocking with HU. Howard versus Hampton. We gonna find out who the real people are.
Well, yeah, you and your U of I, yeah.
ILL, baby. That's right. You know what? And the U of I will be in, and guess what? U of I will probably have the best, will represent stronger than all of the HBCUs combined, because you know how we get down to U of I, right?
Yes, it's that winning football program.
You know what? We have a football program. Okay. All right, let's stop. Let's go to social media question of the day. Todd, yesterday we discussed whether we have lowered the standards for black children. I discussed the erosion of the church, the changing climate at schools, and the general lack of intergenerational understanding. Then there's the viewpoint that because of what other people do, we should be able to mimic, compare, or get away with it because they did it, we should be able to do it. Well, today, before we address, I want to have an ongoing series of discussions on black standards. But before I get to black standards or black values, I want to know about what we value. So, the social media question of the day is, what do black people value? Again, not what are your values, but what do you value? Give us a call, 312-374-8130. Now, Todd, values. What do black people value? Black people that you know, what, Todd, let me start with you. What do you value?
Family, honor. That's my thing.
Okay.
Family, how you comport yourself.
How you comport yourself. Explain comport.
How you behave out in the world. If you're treating people well, that's how I think you should comport yourself.
Okay. So
look out for your neighbor.
So
I am my brother's keeper.
Okay. I see you. I had that right there. So I value my spiritual relationship with the Creator. I value my family. I value education. And I value work ethic that leads to a better way of life. Not only for me, but for my children and eventually, hopefully, my grandchildren. Now, in the meantime, I have valued money, cars, clothes, jewelry, women, all of those things.
Material things, eh?
Material goods. And I would argue that right now, I'm not sure what black people actually value. When I was thinking about the church, I don't think about, when I think about dressing for church and thinking about, let me back up. Let's talk about when we were yesterday people were arguing about the dress code at school.
Right.
To me, that is I don't want to sound crazy, but it feels nonsensical to me. That there is actually an argument, not because of need, but because of choice, that we don't necessarily want the best behavior. We don't necessarily concern ourselves with how our children comport themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it mean to their long-term success? So I want to know, what do you value? Like, what do black people actually value? I value property, ownership, right? I value making a better way in the society that we live in. I don't know what collectively we value. Do we value self-sufficiency? Do we value our independence? Because I don't know how much black independence there is.
Or that might be one of the problems. We value our independence so much that we refuse to be part of an organization and group, and therefore it's harder for us to move on.
Okay, there's a good, right, because black people the first people to tell you we ain't a monolith are the black people.
Exactly.
And guess who the first people to get treated like a monolith are? The black people.
Yeah.
Right? And we love to say, even amongst us, it's us and them. Right? It's the black people and it's the right?
Right.
And we've taken that, but and in there is an implication that one group of us values certain things that another group of us does not. What are those things that we as a black community value? Give me a call, 312-374-8130. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? You don't know what you value? That could be part of the problem. We'll be back after traffic and the weather. Todd, what do black people value in your estimation?
I think there's too much focus on material things. I think if we focused on more education, like you were saying, education is I didn't say that, but that is something I truly value because I make a lot of I don't know if they're sacrifices, but I don't do things that I like to do so I can pay for the education I want my children to have. I think if we had more emphasis on education and we had more emphasis at us as a group actually working and talking to each other, we'd be a lot further along. You know, everybody won't do it, but you need more numbers who, like I tell my son, you know, you don't realize it today, but these 24 hours of the day are a ton of hours. And if you actually would mark down the time that you spent doing whatever during the day, you realize just how many hours you spend doing pretty much nothing. And that time could be filled with doing something positive for all of us. And that's working together. So I just think we don't value that enough. Working together for a main goal. We're stuck in our own little fight, which is hard for us to get anywhere. There's going to be a fight, but when you're fighting by yourself, you know, an army of one is not very, very strong. I don't even watch Game of Thrones, and I know that.
Can I tell you, so I talk to a lot of Jewish people, and Jewish people tend to value education over everything. At least the most successful ones that I know. They tend to value education over everything because they say that if they get the education, they know how to deal with their money, they know how to deal with everything else, and it's something, just take that away. Oh, James Big Slim Davis, did I just hear you say these wasn't the animals that went downtown, brother? I know I didn't see that come from your mouth. James Big Slim Davis, I was being sarcastic to all of the people who said that our children were animals who went downtown. I'm asking right now, what do people value? What up, Steve Hobson? What's up, man? When I'm gonna get some pancakes? You know, Steve Hobson got breakfast joint and they even asked the WVON morning show to have a live broadcast from them. Ain't that crazy, Todd? See how black people
That's
do you?
crazy.
Ain't that crazy?
I love pancakes.
See how black people do you, man? We got people with restaurants. They don't bring us no food. Todd, hit that down.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't gonna hold that against Steve. Nothing but smooth sailing tonight. Anything that you want from me. You are tuned in to the Top Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Todd Stroger in the building, and I am asking the social media question of the day. And it seems like the cat got y'all tongues, which could be part of the problem. But I want to know, what do black people value? Todd, in my life, I have been had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people from the Jewish community. A lot of wealthy people. I'm not talking about rich. I'm talking about wealthy.
Right.
I'm talking about people whose kids gonna be straight. People who man, like when you say $10 million, it's not like what? People, when you say $50 million, it's not like impossible. And
Yeah, I used to go to the East Bank Club. I've met some of those children.
and some of them didn't always come from Uber. They weren't like trust fund babies. It was kind of like they started over or they started or whatever, but they made a tremendous amount of wealth in their lifetime, and then their children, they sprungboard off of the work of their parents who got them an education, and then they turn that education into money. And so,
You know, one of the important tenets of being Jewish is to be able to read, because you have to read the Torah.
and it is education. They say that throughout time, education has been the saving grace. Well, when I think about black kids in Chicago and 1 in 4 goes to an underperforming CPS school, then I think about the literacy levels of black children who graduate from CPS schools. When I was looking at the emails, looking at some written documents from some people who literally were like, they were going to actually give these documents to people to read. And I was like, where did you learn to conjugate verbs and nouns? And I caught myself because people were looking at me like I was being classist or being like a snob.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And it's like, no, you can't.
You were trying to stick to the rules.
Right, the rules to be successful.
Yeah.
And I feel like education is not highly valued in a lot of levels of in our community. The reason, one of the things that makes me,
you know that's I was gonna say for true. You know that's for sure because look at what goes on with athletics, where basketball has become the greatest thing in the black neighborhoods. But as they push the basketball players on, education doesn't become part of that formula, and they go through school and there is no thought of getting a degree. Even back in my day, the superstars like Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, they went back after their careers and got their degree, but they did it for their parents, even though they were multimillionaires.
right, because of their parents valued education. But Ty, I don't know if education is valued. And part of it is just like when we were talking about that principal who put a dress code for the parents.
Right.
Like, you got to tell the parents they need a dress code. Okay, so somebody told me that maybe these young people have been taught that way. So I want to know, what do you see as that black people value in our community? I'm going to tell you that education probably is the thing that we should value the most because it gives us the opportunity to move on. I don't know a lot of college graduates, at least from U of I, and I'm not a college graduate from U of I, but I don't know a lot of them who haven't been able to make a successful path forward. I'm not saying millionaires, but to move up from where their parents were.
Right.
I go to too many 8th grade graduations where that is the accomplishment. Like where the family it's like they done graduated from high school.
So I spoke at one. It was held somewhere around 75th and Ashland. And the sad part was there was one guy who won an award, but the other 5 went to all girls. And at least 4 of the boys were sleeping during the ceremony.
And the parents didn't say anything.
Nobody said a word.
And I am concerned that even in our fight to protect the lack of dress code, we're missing the whole point of the school, which is to prepare your child for the next level.
Yeah,
and I feel like
they've given up already.
Right. It's like it almost feels like in some cases school becomes a babysitter, not a preparer for a better life.
Right.
And I don't know right now if we have a collective set of things that black people value. Like, do black people value ownership? Do we? Do we value commerce? Do we value our independence? Let's talk about it more when we come back, because I see y'all done finally woke up, but I still think y'all scared to answer this question because you don't know what you value. Let's talk about it when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690 traffic. Oh, do I got time left? Oh, I got 5 minutes? Oh, I got 5 seconds. Well, then on that note, we'll be back after traffic, news, and the weather.
Yeah, man, I sure would like to see us do more around the education circle.
I mean, seriously, I go to 8th grade graduations, and your parents got balloons. They got straight up, they wearing suits. The kids man, you made it. No, you didn't make it. You just getting started.
Right.
You just getting started. And it's like, if you say that, it's almost offensive to people. But it's like, I don't even understand. don't get it twisted. We're gonna celebrate my son's 8th grade graduation, as in he's gonna go out to dinner and he's gonna get a gift or two that says, "Get your butt ready for high school."
Exactly. Right.
Not, all right, use not free. What's this? What we doing?
This is your live read for today for May Being Health and Awareness Month.
Oh, can we get Dr. Rachel?
We got this at 7:30.
All right, can you set up a Fridays with Dr. Rachel for Health Awareness Month? All right,
Yeah,
so let's,
we just
Health
gotta figure out
awareness.
What topic is always sex?
yeah, I want to do sex though. That was a
Okay.
great segment last year. It was like people look forward to it because she came up with all these great sex topics, and it was like stuff that nobody would talk about, but we was all like, damn,
Right.
right? So let's get. I know we should do like we should get her to talk about what's that? The one that I thought a lot of people responded to that nobody talks about. Not is it the fibroids, but what's the other thing? That women have is fibroids and what's that? The other
Fibromyalgia.
not fibromyalgia. God, I can't think of it to save my life. Anyway, I want to have her. I got like she did one on that. She did one on like she has some really good ones. So let's get her to do like 4 weeks of like on every Friday.
Well, we have a sponsor first, St. Bernard's Hospital. So
Oh, wow.
we have to fulfill whatever they want to talk about first.
Saint Bernard.
Yeah. So we have to fulfill their request
I like how you
first.
said that.
You know why?
I think
You know who Saint Bernard is, right? You know who represents Saint Bernard?
No.
Them people.
Well, you know, St. Bernard is a Catholic thing run by some nuns.
Well, it's another. It's a.
So
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
they have a Catholic space.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I ain't got nothing to say.
so. Yeah. I
Okay.
think it's St. Bernard's, but
Well, you could.
yeah.
Saint Bernard's can do that, but we can read this. But I still want to do a awareness with Dr. Rachel
Okay.
that
It's
don't
just
have
that
to
it
do
may
with
not
them.
be- It may not fall on a Friday.
What?
That's all I'm saying.
Why? Because theirs are all
Because
Fridays.
We have some Friday stuff already set up for you. Whoever, if it's St. Bernard, whatever hospital we are responsible.
It's alright. I'm gonna tell you. See, it's like all these people sneaking, man. What they trying to do is trying to get them some by default action, cause they know they bogus. Hey, who's down in for y'all down in Springfield that are lobbying? Make sure when y'all represent, y'all give them the W. Give them a whistle, but make them answer what's in it for the black people. Brother Steve, make sure you go see Art Turner Jr. Make sure you go see Jahan Gordon Booth. Go say hello. So now what happens is people be trying to there's a lot of people that try to play like we not credible, but then be trying to put their stuff in. It's funny because it's like when people see me at the joints now, they be like they seen a ghost. They be like, yeah, no, I know you was saying that stuff. I know you tried to take a brother out. I know you was part of the Get Maze crew. Funny how the tables turn. Funny how the tables turn. Yeah, man. Brother Steve, you should. Anyway, take them on Machetta broadcast. So Whiftable, man, let them know when we all down there, man, we ain't scared. It's like that, we coming. We coming. Yeah, y'all. I think that there are a lot of people who want to work around us, but know that one of the most effective ways to reach our community is us. Yeah. And people have infiltrated our groups and have used it to further their issues. We have people that are leveraging what's in it for the black people for their own personal agendas, and by default, hoping that people just assume that they got the tacit support of WIFTABA. It's like people are trying to benefit off of the work without necessarily trying to respect the work, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? People are trying to figure out, how can I get a piece of that without necessarily trying to pay the proper respect. And I'm not talking about economic. I'm talking about you in one way, you out here shivving us in the back, telling us who we ain't and what we ain't, but on the second thing, you trying to piggyback off of it. I think people don't think I be seeing, or think that I'm naive, or think that I just need for y'all to understand I've been doing this for almost 25 years. I done seen every hustle, every somebody trying to play the game, trying to be slick, and it just don't work. Right? It's just, I don't say nothing because I try not to be petty. But I'm just telling you, I ain't a sucker. And I don't need a bodyguard. But I see you. I know what you're doing. You are tuned in to the Top of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson Todd. That sound like that's your jam, man.
That is.
That's your jam.
That's Al Hurd.
Who
Al
is-
Hurd's from New Orleans, of course, a trumpeter.
Uh-huh.
And that's really the flight of the bumblebee, but that's the theme for the Green Hornet.
Ah, okay. Well, you were whistling it, you're not. This is your jam?
Because I can't even play the spoons well.
Ah, you can't even play the spoons. Well, come on, Todd. Everybody can play the spoons, man. Maybe not. Okay. Well, it is the WVON Morning Show. That voice you heard in the background is my co-host, Todd Stroger. Gotta say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom? She is fanning herself. I'm telling y'all, by the summertime, we are gonna be in this mug in swimsuits.
I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Yes.
Then I gotta say what's
Sweat it
up to the Wonder Twins, Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins. They are both rocking it out in the studio. And I am your host, Maze Jackson. Now, we were asking the social media question of the day. What do black people value? But before I do that, I just want to remind everybody, do not forget the WVON Heritage Film Series this Thursday, May 2nd at Black Box Theater at Kennedy King College, located at 740 West 63rd Street. And this week's movie, The Hate You Give, starring Common, directed by Chicago's own George Tillman Jr. Now, it's going to be hosted by Perry Small. So you come out for the movie, stay for the post-show discussion. Admission only $8, but if you got your WVON movie pass, it's free. Visit WVON.com or the Facebook page for more information or advance tickets. And don't forget, it's powered by ComEd and the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Also, Todd, did I mention to you that on May 16th, What's in It for the Black People will have its very first fundraiser?
Oh, yeah.
May 16th, our very first fundraiser.
I put it in my calendar.
You put it in your calendar? Check it out. Everybody grab your calendar, grab your phones, put it in your calendar. May 16th, we'll be having our first event at Renaissance in Bronzeville. You know what I'm saying? Black owned, we doing it good. But I'll tell y'all a little bit about that. Shout out to my girl, Shelly Macasmackadoo. I see you watching us live. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on Facebook Live and on YouTube and everybody. Shout out to everybody in Springfield who's watching us. Big shout out to Trustee Edward Steve from Dalton, who is a member of the Lion's Den, as well as our girl Michelle Flagg, who are down in Springfield lobbying right now. Hopefully they will stop in and check on Jahan Gordon Booth, who I think is our state representative from Peoria. You know who introduced me to, who told me about Jahan Gordon Booth?
Who that?
Marlo. Like maybe a bunch of years ago, and him and Chris Anderson were like, man, you gotta meet this girl from Peoria. She's gonna be.
He told me that too, actually, because I never met her, but he told me that she was.
And then she became, now look, she's leadership, the whole thing.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be one of our people. You know, she on low key. She one of the people that's taking care of this marijuana thing. You know, I really think the white folks need to give it up and give it to her to carry. I feel like it's some kind of way about the white folks in the House and the Senate being in charge of the marijuana bill, talking about they took. You know what? Let me stop. I gotta go back to my social media question of the day. Then we'll talk about this cannabis bill that is going through Springfield. I got a copy of it. It's 300 pages. I saw some opportunities, but also got some questions. But before I go, social media question of the day: what do black people value? Give us a call, 312-374-8130. What do you value? Let's go to line 4, Judah. Judah, you're on the Talk of Chicago. How you doing today?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
We value everything but ourselves, and that's the problem with us. Every other nation, they value each other. That's why they do stuff for their people. We value what y'all went down. Besides our families, collectively, we really don't care. And we have the power to do anything right now, economically and everything else. We have the power to do it now, but we don't even value what our ancestors went through on this soil. We don't even value it. We'll value it if they say something about it. We value all the holidays. We don't value that we are the chosen people that are created, and we fulfill the prophecies of the Bible. We don't even value that. We would go look. People have been reading that Bible for a time. If you can't picture yourself as a people that lived somewhere for 400 years, and after 4 from 16 to 19, that they was gonna go through everything under the sun, and now we're gonna come out with great. We're gonna get the promised land, like King said, and we're not gonna buy it with their currency. Shalom, have a good day.
Man, thank you, Judah. I appreciate the call. I don't know if we do value ourselves. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you that I think black folks value white approval more than they do black people's approval. I think if white people say you good, you good. Black people say you good, you like, I gotta check that out.
Right.
Let's go to Sean. Sean, you want to talk Chicago 16 minutes?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I just didn't. I mean, I've heard you talking about schooling and all that, so I don't want to get off of what you were talking about. But I was just thinking, why don't WVON have some cultural event like something like at the Millennium Park, you know, at the Pritzker, you know, where we can have some Jill Scott and some Fantasia, some Frankie Beverly, you know, we can have our own taste of Chicago, you know, where we can have black vendors, you know, with their foods, and you know, let's just do some cultural, you know, where we can feel like we're a part of downtown again.
Well, okay. Well, let me tell you, Sean. I think we do feel like we're a part of all over the city. But I will say this: what I would ask is that I want to do those type of events. I think we all do. I think it requires sponsors. I think it requires people to invest. And I think when you talk about black liberation, you can't rely on white folks to liberate black people. So I'm down. I'm down all day, but I'm saying I'm still trying to get black folks to advertise. Like the core business is advertising. We still trying to get black folks to say, I'm telling you, y'all run to the white folks, like I said. You come to us and say how come y'all don't do. But the first time it's time to pay some money, y'all don't force them corporations to come over here. Y'all let them corporations go pay to the white folks to who act like they black. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, you want to talk Chicago 1690. What do black people value?
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, my brother.
Okay, and Ty.
Good morning.
Well, all you gotta do is look at what they spend their money on. Black people value entertainment, period. And I mean, almost to their detriment. When I mean entertainment, because I'm not a pop culture guy, I mean movies, all this, and I hear about stuff, but I don't know anything about it. But there's also the other side tracks that go with entertainment, going out. And I remember my son was ready to go to school. He said, Dad, the only thing black people do in Chicago is step and gangbang. I said, well, it's a little more than that. But actually, that's what we spend all our money on. Think about it. Entertainment. And we don't control any of it, but that's what we do, man. That's what we value. Whatever you spend your money on, pretty much okay. So it's inordinate amount of time and money, a waste of money and time on. And look, I don't have a problem with entertainment. I'm like anybody else, but I think we put too much emphasis on it. You guys have a great day.
All right, let's go to Chicago.
Good morning, Mayor, and I've got the brother neighborhood advice. How you guys doing? Good morning.
Oh, good.
Good.
And Todd always works.
Todd, Mr. Todd. Well, you know, first of all, Mayor, you said something. I value God, but I value, like I was telling the person that answered, so I value Chicago as well. We have to teach the children what Dr. Kingdom did, so they can value what Chicago's supposed to be about. The children don't value anything, so the parents can't value anything. But I value my neighborhood. We just had a cleaning up Saturday. And, you know, where was everybody at? They were by blowing at us. Nobody come out and gave us a hand. But I took some of the young guys out there. I said, this is our neighborhood. Let's clean it up, you know?
Right.
Where was the alderman? We have to come together as a group, you know, and be serious about this thing. You know, we know everybody is a monetary thing to a lot of people, but we got to get it back right. Dr. King was about getting us together so we can value our neighborhood and value each other. You know, so you guys have a blessed day.
Thank you, my brother. Look, we got to talk about it more when we come back after traffic and the weather.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up.
Not a lot of stuff we value, Todd.
Well, I think, you know, people are pretty much saying the same thing, maybe in some different ways, but it's all about us. You gotta value yourself. Like somebody said, if you value yourself, then there's certain things you're gonna do. It's like when I'm driving down the street and the car in front of me throws out a McDonald's bag, or I looked across the street and there was, in front of my house, and there was a diaper. And it stayed there for a day, and I was like, I'm gonna get that damn thing.
Right. Do you pick up trash in your neighborhood when you're walking? Like, do you pick up trash? Like, if you see trash, do you pick it up?
Yeah, I don't walk as much as I used to, but you know, if something comes by the house, I pick it up. Like I got that damn diaper. The dead squirrel. Got my shovel and got him up. You know,
You didn't call the alderman and say I got a dead squirrel?
it's just a dead squirrel. I mean, yeah, a couple of things have died out in front of the house, and I bag them up and get rid of them. But, you know, I figure it's my responsibility to keep our area clean, and everybody needs to. But the worst part is people are walking down the street just kind of like throwing bags places. We've always had some kind of McDonald's bags all over because we have a McDonald's a block away. But the worst is when I see people just driving and they're just like, well, let me throw this Starbucks cup out the window.
I mean, all you gotta do is look along the expressway in the black neighborhoods compared to the
awful.
white neighborhoods. It's ridiculous.
Well, we get complaints at the 21st ward all the time. Because
Why you always be saying 21st? Why you ain't never working at the 8th ward?
well, they got everything they need.
I'm just saying.
I don't
All
want.
the pictures of your whole family on the wall, you ain't working in the 8th ward?
I don't want to be in the way. The 8th ward doesn't need me. The 21st ward could use some help, so that's why I'm there.
Let me just ask y'all a question. Now, I gotta just say this to
Now, don't get me wrong. During the election time, I came to the 8th ward and I gave a speech. And
Can you
I'm
imagine?
all behind the 8th ward.
Can I ask you though, can you imagine a time when I can never imagine a time in the Madigan regime that somebody would say they don't need, like, could you ever imagine in the Madigan campaign office in the 13th ward where they like, never mind, we don't care. Could you imagine in the Daily Era, like, if, well, even when James Balser was the alderman, right? Could you ever imagine them just chucking the memory of the most powerful political family in the, you just can't do that time. It's like,
Oh no, they still honor my father like nobody's business. I mean, it's not like John.
they honor me, I honor my, you know how I want, let me tell y'all what. I want my son to have advantages. I don't want him to have to start over because I don't want you to talk about how great my father was and then leave my son hanging. I want y'all to be like, your father was great, he fed all of us, so all of us have a responsibility to put in to make sure yours, because he fed generations, we feel like your generation should go on. But I guess that's just because I'm a different kind of guy. I learned the game different. I don't know, man. See, this is the code. This is the honor. This is the thing, like, that's legacy, right? Like, if you put on 200 people whose families then went on to branch out, have kids, grandkids, etc., there is a debt of gratitude that goes back to that. You kick into that. It's just the way it is, yo. And it's like you can't, so if they can continue, if they can kill off our legacies, like, and we always got to start over. Let me tell you, the white guys, they know they about to die, they calling around doing stuff for their sons right now, trying to make sure that nobody tries to murder their son after what they did. So they are out making amends. Right? They trying to...
That must be music.
Is that us?
Yeah. I get it. I got it.
And that's not shade to them. It's just shade to our way of life that we don't respect it.
George Dunn said, John, I'm talking about Dad, don't retire. When they retire, when you retire, people don't call you anymore. Well, I took a break, and during that break, it was like everything that I had ever had ties to were cut. Well, not everything, you know, I still got a few friends, like our friends.
How could it cut? How could you? There's no way.
Fear is also a factor in this too.
Okay.
People with fear.
Fear of your own
getting-
neighborhood, man. See?
Of getting too close to me and getting burned. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's why we gotta blaze a new path. Cause the goal is to take away, to take your flag down, to make sure that your lineage doesn't live on. Because the new king don't want your lineage to live on. Cause it's a reminder that they wasn't the king, and somebody could one day come back and say, I want to join with my old king.
That's right.
You are tuned into the Talk Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Ty Stroger, and we are, you know what, I was trying to move on, but we're going to talk about this social media question of the day. What do black people value? Let's go to Edna. Edna, you on the Talk Chicago, 1690. What do black people value?
Black female value hair, eyelashes, nails, makeup, and with the hair, the longer the better. Black men value gym shoes, one of the city core outfit.
You know what? I ain't going to even argue with you. I know so many people that, I mean, I know so many people that their priority is to get hair, nails, weave, shoes, etc. But I mean, like, we wear our value. Todd, I'm not gonna lie. I used to wear my value. When I first got a little bit of money, I bought. I still wear it as a reminder sometimes, but I went out and bought a Rolex. Then had a diamond encrusted. I bought a big old pinky ring, a iced out chain. I went and got me a big old car because I wanted people to know I was valuable.
I almost got a Rolex, but it was only like the $500 Rolex.
What $500 Rolex is that? I ain't never seen that.
That's because it had a leather band.
Nah, yeah, that leather band
Even when
is.
I was trying to be show my wealth, I was sure I wasn't good at it.
You did have
And
a
I didn't
Porsche.
buy it. I didn't buy it.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you, some of these luxury goods, I used to be like, dang, they paid this much, and then I was running around here buying stuff that people was renting for the videos. I'm trying to buy it. They done rented. It reminded me of that story of what's the guy who used to write the short stories? But he wrote the short stories that were always quirky about the woman who borrowed her friend's necklace and lost it at the event, and so she never talked to her. Spent 20 years trying to repay it, and then when she finally got the money, she bought her a new one, and she was like, "Oh, you spent this money for all this? It was fake. It was but mere paste, right?" And I'm running around here trying to buy all this stuff, and everybody else I know is renting. Let's go to the phone lines. What do black people value? Let's go to my man, Andre Smith. Now, y'all make sure if y'all looking to get y'all a whip, y'all talk to my man, Andre Smith, because Andre got the 5 Nissans. I had me thinking I was going to trade the Porsche in and get me a Nissan Maxima, because he got them cars looking good. What's up, Andre? How you feeling, man?
What up, Todd and Maze? Today is
Hey.
a day. So God has blessed me to live another year.
Oh, whoa. Happy birthday to my man, Andre Smith. Y'all, we got it. Somebody told me I would be too country if we started acknowledging birthdays. But I really feel like I would be happy to know that my birthday got acknowledged.
Yeah.
I think we need to start doing that. All right, go ahead, Dre.
Well, 2 things that black people value. One is the crab and bucket mentality, and the second one is the Jim Crow mentality.
Man, that what you put a stamp on that one. Thanks, Dre. Let's go to Brian. Brian, you on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Yes, sir, Brother Maze.
What's up, brother?
Yes, sir. Hey, I believe black people value, or to a great extent, our history, language, and culture. Let's see, I believe stations like WVON, we have the radioactive, the radio activism. So I think that's something that we have the family, and we want to make things better for our communities. I think that's why you're structuring that 50 by 50, and there's going to be a number of people who are going to volunteer for that. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I called, to find out when the next 50 by 50 meeting is going to be.
You done upgraded it from 50 by 50 to 10. It's 10 by 10. You done upgraded to 50 by 50. I like how you think, my brother. It is 10 by 10 meets every Friday night at Logos Baptist Church, and What's in It for the Black People meets every first Tuesday at 2907 South Wabash. Thanks for your call. Let me go to Linda. Linda.
Good morning, WVON Village.
Morning, Linda.
We still value our children's education due to the fact that every year there's a graduation and we never misses it. Whether it's grammar school, high school, or college, we still value that. Whether people acknowledge it or not, we still value our children's education, which is always hope.
Okay. All right, Linda, thank you. Y'all tell me, what do
That's
black...
what we both said.
What do black people value? Let's go to Lewis. Lewis from Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning, Maze and Todd.
Good morning.
We value everything. We value life, and the reason why I say that is because around the 1970s to about the 1990s, everything was popping in Chicago. We had Soul Train downtown. We had theaters downtown that can go and see a show for $1.25. And we had jobs downtown that kids could work.
where they would wash dishes in Walgreens in a cafeteria, or wash dishes in Carson Perry Scott or
work in the government.
Marshallfield. We had everything going, and education. In Bronzeville, we had DuSable, we had Phillips, we had Dunbar. In Inglewood, we had Inglewood, and then we had Harper and CBS. We had everything, and we still have it, except that we lost. We don't know how to relate to our younger generation about the things that we used to have, and about the things that they could have, and so we have trouble with that communication part. But then they surprised us when we had that Laquan McDonald incident, when they went downtown along with the activists, along with the church, and along with the Millennium, and they protested.
I gotta stop you right there, Lewis, because I gotta go to traffic, news, and the weather. But y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a little not sure after an hour what exactly black people value. I heard a couple things in there, but I'm not sure what do we value. And if we don't know what we value, then how do we set our values? Right? If we don't know what we value, then how do we set our values?
Yeah.
Values. We'll talk about it more when we come back. Actually, we're going to talk about the car impound scandal, as well as I am going to talk about this marijuana. It's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
Live from the WVON
So,
newsroom.
if you based off of what we heard, then you understand why school, you didn't really hear very much about education. So now you understand why people fighting the dress code. Right? You didn't hear very much about ownership. Like,
Man, I could screw up a ton of things in life, and I did. But if I was screwing up in school, shoot, I needed a coat of armor because I was going to get the black beat off of me.
but that raised the cortisone levels that then made you more... Wait, Salim, tell him what happened when he got the black beat off of him. Go ahead. Salim going to tell you about the scientific part of it.
There's a scientific thing to that.
Right.
But yeah, my dad was like all about education. So my grandmother on my father's side was born in 1900, and she was able to get an 8th grade education.
Cool.
With my grandmother.
Uh-huh.
And an 8th grade education was pretty good in Arkansas for a black lady in 1916. About 1916. I guess that's when she would graduate, 1914, whatever that would be. Most people couldn't get through grammar school because it was an agricultural society, and kids had to go out on the farms and stuff. You didn't have time to spend in the classroom. And she always carried herself, it's kind of interesting, she always carried herself like she was the Duchess of Orange. She met you, Maze, she would say, "Oh, Mr. Jackson, oh, it's so wonderful to meet you." But that was her outside voice. Her inside voice was just a regular black person. And her husband only got to 3rd grade, but that education was important to them. And I always say my parents were lucky. My father was lucky. My mother was lucky too, but in a different way. He was lucky that he went to he was born in a town, Helena, poor as get out, a whole bunch of other poor people around him. But there was a black lady who was rich. Her husband was a pastor, a minister, and he owned land. And then they got married, and she wasn't just a wife, she became his business partner. He died. She opened the first black theater in Arkansas. Then she built the grammar school, maybe it was grammar school and high school, for the black people. So instead of going to some kind of one-room shack, they actually had a real school that was outside of waiting on the school district to build it, because that wouldn't happen. And like they had black teachers, and so education became important. They had a lot of, Howard Medley of Medley Movers,
Medley!
Robert Johnson of Plano Optometrics. They went to school with my dad, and they were poor too. But they had this opportunity that a lot of African Americans at that time didn't have. And when my dad went to Xavier, he was a business major. And Dr. Johnson actually went to Xavier. And before he became an optometrist.
I'm so sleepy. So when we come back from break, you go straight to your health and awareness. Okay?
Oh.
7:37. Yep, that's yours. Just read all
So
that.
those guys did very well, but they had something that couldn't always get. I always say my dad and Danny Davis and Shaw. Maybe not Shaw. I'm not certain if he came from a more urban area, but as they call themselves, the last of the cotton pickers. They actually had to go out in the field for a while. My dad went out in the field, but his uncle brought him back and said, "Get this boy some education or he's gonna die." He's the worst cotton picker I've ever seen in my life. So he instilled that in us. Education is so important. It's something they can't take away from you. Once you have that knowledge, it's yours, and then you can use that for your benefit. And it is part of who you are as you go through life and you try to accomplish things. And don't think people don't notice if you have an education. They notice if you have one. They notice where you've been to go along with your experience in life. So, my children, I expect them to be better than I am. Move further. But unfortunately, I think that got lost somewhere. Where that's not always the goal anymore. We're bogged down in this crazy society where there's so many African Americans who don't see their children advancing further. And maybe they just don't have the tools to help them also. When my dad came to Chicago, my mother, whose father worked in a factory and her mother worked in a factory, hard workers, did well. My great-grandfather actually bought a house on Langley in like 1914 or something. But they didn't really, there was high school at that time. You got through high school and everything was good. You didn't have to go to college. My mother's youngest sister wanted to go to college. My father's dating my mother, or maybe they already married. He's sitting there in his shoes with a hole in the bottom. And Aunt Beverly says, "I want to go to college." And grandmother said,
She said you have to say your piece over her music she's about to play.
says,
This is your
"We don't have any
7:50.
money."
I'm gonna bring you a copy.
But, okay.
Is a person calling or coming?
Call it in.
Man, calling in. You better tell these people you having me do this show love, and then they call in. All right.
Rhea?
Ty told us a love story, y'all. A silly love song.
That was not, I guess it
You
was
should
love
play
song.
Silly Love Song if you got it.
Silly love song. Is
It's
that,
by Michelle A.
No.
A silly love song. He just got through telling his mom and dad's love story.
It was a bigger thing than love, but love is always a good thing.
It's too late. I think she wants to. No, it's on your sheet. Hey, you are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Get my man, Todd Stroger, sitting in. Hey, Todd, did you know that May is Health Awareness Month?
No.
well, check it out, Todd.
I
May,
got a lot of health issues.
do you really? You know what? Well, May, well, let me tell you, here's one of the ways you can deal with some of those health issues. Remember to drink water, Todd. It increases energy, promotes weight loss, flushes out toxins, and improves skin complexion. It also helps with regular bowel movements. You know you don't want to be clogged up. I use coffee for that, though. Improves your immune system, keeps joints lubricated, and muscles are more elastic. And it may help decrease headaches and back pain, often caused with dehydration.
Everything but that skin thing is me.
You know what?
I got great glowing skin.
This healthy tip is brought to you by Resurrection University. See what Res U can do for you. Start your career now at Resurrection University. It's funny because they were talking about back pain here, and I remember that when I was getting a massage, and I was having back problems.
No, you're not bougie.
And I kept telling the lady, she was like, "Is there any place you want to pay any special attention to?" And I
Is
said,
this a
"My
Danny
back."
Felice story or?
No. And so she started giving me a back massage, and all of a sudden she started saying, "When's the last time you drank some water?" And I said, "Oh, I hadn't drank it. You know, I drink peach Snapple and coffee every day." And she's like, "No, water."
That's not water.
And I told her, and she said, "Clearly, I can tell by this massage in your back that part of your back trouble is water, lack of water."
Wow.
So I started drinking water. And Todd, do you know I was having back problems for like a week? I drank water for 2 days, and I was back in the game. And I now swear by water. You know what?
My dad used to say it's the greatest thing that ever made. And he was talking about water.
Man, some days water can be so good. And then some days it'd be like, but I need that peach Snapple. Well, I'm going to have to get my water up. Let me let y'all know. That is our tip for today. It is May is Health Awareness Month. Now, in the background, you hear playing a silly love song. That is by Michelle A. But you know what? That, Todd, is dedicated to you. Because on the break, man, you were telling us a love story about how your mom and dad met, and your dad had a hole in the bottom of his shoe, and your Aunt Beverly said, "I think I want to go to college." And then it was like we were getting the whole story of the Stroger Union that produced you, and then we had to come back. So I'm gonna
It's probably longer than that. Where I was going with that was my father said to my Aunt Beverly, "You can go to college, even though you don't have any money. I know how to do it." And she went to UAMN and graduated.
Oh, UAMN. I thought you was going to say UAPB. Shout out to University of Arkansas.
That is
Pine Bluff.
UAPB now.
Oh, okay. So UAPB, man, it's a lot of people from University of Arkansas, Pine Bluff. Shout out to my dog, Boo. Shout out to the Blue Fire. You know, we do our thing down there, too.
Yeah.
All right, Todd, I'm going to...
You know what you need to do?
What?
I forgot to tell you, I think. I went to Providence Hospital on Saturday, and the Alphas and the Kappas, the alumni, had a Men's Health Day.
Really?
Yeah, next year we need to get the sick ones involved.
You know, we do Men's Health Day. We were probably busy marching for babies, probably doing our male mentoring program with our Sigma Beta Club. But we'll add you to our long list of service projects. Maybe it was the highway we were cleaning up. Maybe
it's time we move on.
You want to have another Battle of the Frat Hymns?
Oh, no. I've practiced a lot of things. The hymns, hold on, I haven't been practicing.
See, you do that if
it's easy when I'm in the shower.
But when you're in chapter meeting, man, it just comes natural. You've been financial, you've been going to meetings, man. See,
man, I'm lucky I'm paying the car bill.
I heard that.
I'm hiding the car in the garage.
All right, y'all. Look, speaking of hiding the car in the garage, Todd, have you ever had your car towed or impounded by the city?
Not by the city.
Okay, well, where have you had your car towed or impounded?
Over on Rush
I hope
Street.
not by the county. What were you doing on Rush Street, Todd?
Well, this is like 1982.
You know, like 1982 on Rush Street. Todd, we go. That's
You know nothing about that young man.
I'ma tell you.
In 1982, they had arcades. It was.
But they also had the ladies of the night.
I was 19. You think I don't even know how much a lady night would cost.
Ah!
I didn't have enough money for that.
Pocket full of. You had a pocket full of quarters. You know what? You should You know what, Sonya? That makes me think. You need to play the Pac-Man song. I got Pac-Man crazy fever. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
But Todd, I was asking about your car being impounded because, the car impounding system is a straight up racket.
Ain't it?
When you get your car towed, so check this out. So imagine on December 1st when the snow changes, your car gets towed. You come outside, you're like, oh my God, my car is towed. Once you realize it's not stolen, you say, okay, well, no foul, no harm. I'm gonna go over to the impound lot and I'm gonna get my car out. I'm gonna pay my fee.
Oh, I did get told one day. It was election day. I forgot.
You got towed on election day?
I was parked in front of the ward office. We went down to celebrate my dad's victory. I come back and just like it was the snow thing, they had towed the car to 100 and whatever it is.
103rd and Doty.
Yeah.
So Todd, when they tow your car, let me tell you how it works. So it's really a frustrating process because then you go find wherever they towed it to. And then when you go there, you see like a big forklift, right? And the forklift is just picking up cars and dropping them and throwing them everywhere. And you're like, oh my God, they just picked my car up with a forklift. But then you go in to say, okay, I got my money together, I'm ready to pay for it. And they say, okay, so you get in line, you wait in this long line of all the people who woke up in the morning and found that their car was gone. And so they're all like, oh my God, they're sleeping their eyes, but they got to get their car because you got to get to work, you got to do whatever.
Exactly. That was my story.
Well, then you get to the front of the line and you have your $300 or whatever it is to pay, and then they say okay, Mr. Stroger. Then they say, but Mr. Stroger, before we can give you your car, we need your license, we need your insurance and your registration. Well, that's in the car.
Right.
Okay, well, Mr. Stroger, we'll give you a pass to go out to your car. Now, don't take anything else out, but go get those out, get those documents out. So you go to the car, they bring your car on a forklift, right? Now, they done scratched up your paint, did everything. They don't care nothing about it. Drop it in front of you, and then you go in the car and get your driver's license and your registration, not your driver's license, your registration insurance, and you go back, you're like, okay, I got it. Here you go. And they say, so great. Oh, Mr. Stroger, it appears as though you have 3 tickets, so you need to pay those, Mr. Stroger. Okay, but those 3 tickets are going to cost you so, and they have 3 fees waived up on them. So, Mr. Stroger, instead of now paying $300 to get your car, we're going to need you to pay us about $650 to get your car.
Yeah.
So now you run to the ATM and you get over there and you're like, oh my God.
I only got $550.
I only got $550. So you say, okay, I'm gonna wait 2 days because I get paid on Friday. But then you get paid on Friday, and they've charged you $100 and some a day for storage. So now the $600 that you owe is now $800. And then in the meantime, while you're trying to figure out how to get this extra money, they send you a notice in the mail that says, hey, we got your car. And you're like, well, thanks, great. You don't even read it because you're like, I know you got my car because I can't move. And then what you don't do is get an administrative hearing. So when you don't get the administrative hearing, guess what, Todd?
The clock is still ticking.
They start charging you by the day. Mm-hmm. So now you waited 3 weeks because you got your paycheck, you got some friends, and you got your money. And guess what? The car that was sold for $300 is now $1,500. So now you got to go back. And by the time you get the money to go, they now have taken your car and impounded it, and now they said it's no longer your car. We're going to sell it to somebody else. Now, when they sell it to somebody else, you still have to pay the car payments. If that ain't a hustle out this world, it's like car theft. It is legal car theft that happens right here. And somebody's suing.
And it is in essence a poor tax.
It's the Talk of Chicago. We'll be back after traffic number 1.
May is Health Awareness Month. Fact, eating
Now
organic.
you got me upset. Yeah, that's just stealing from poor people.
And so now you can't go to work because you don't got your car.
Yep.
So now you missing days, and they're charging you more daily storage than you're making per day.
Yeah,
and then they take your car.
Like I didn't have the $300, so I'm gonna have $600 in 3 more days. Come on. And that's just the storage part.
Then all your time. Then they want to check everything. You better pay your water bill. You better pay you can't owe the city no money.
Right. You gotta pay it all now. So yeah, I mean, shoot. Yeah, don't be late on the water bill. Because now, shoot, I guess the garbage bill too now. Man, yeah, that's a racket. You can really get. There's no trap you want to get caught in. It's like being a fly in the spider web. Once you're stuck in there, you can struggle all you want. The spider's going to eat you. Yeah, that really should have been something that should have been addressed. I do believe, I remember Mary Lightfoot said she was going to address that issue in some form. But it's those type of money makers that happen, and mostly through the city. That's when I knew things were stacked against me. When the city's like practically stealing people's cars, and I mean they're raising taxes up the wazoo. And I had one tax, and I'm surprised I wasn't hung in effigy and burned while I was in office. But that's also talks to the power of the mayor too, as I said before. The mayor's running around with $33 billion. That keeps a lot of mouths shut. People are happy when money is being spent and moved around. And that's what politics is all about. We know money is going to be spent. Where is it going though? Who's getting it? Whose kids eat? That's what it boils down to. But this is a true racket. Of course, they'll tell you,
That's
where are we
your
going to
guess
get our
now.
money from? Where are we going to get the money from if we get rid of it? Sonia?
Lori Lightfoot had it for us.
Oh, well, she is a millionaire. All right, Project Sincere. I should read this.
How long got? Who's my guest? Jason Coleman, Executive Director of Project Sincere, supporting youth needs. Okay. Ty, we're about to do an interview.
Yeah, I'm reading up on this organization.
I'm gonna tell y'all what. I need some people to start advertising on my Facebook and my social media. Anybody got a business that they want to advertise? I'm telling you, there's no wider watched social media broadcast in the city of Chicago than the WVON morning show. I'm just telling you, it's just not consistently. Every morning, right here. You can advertise in the broadcast. You can advertise in the.
Okay, I don't know if you want to use them. Okay.
I'm gonna start telling these people they gonna have to start hiring me as a his host. And anyway, also, I'm gonna need y'all to start advertising with your man Maze Jackson.
Down the street from me, 90 years from Tony Allen.
Hit that door when you go. And with the sound of my money machine and over one with hundreds. Time to give you a piece of my mind. Who you think you are? Baby, one day you'll be a star. Slang. An up top game. Switching 4 lanes. Money ain't a thing. Me and my tail roll tight like the perm. Like worms, produce these like sperm. Worms, expensive clothes with expensive clothes. Fine wine. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Todd Stroger. And Todd, you know we are always trying to provide information and opportunities. You know I love to answer the question, what's in it for the black people?
Yes.
And there is no group of people that I want the question answered for more than our young people. So when we find out about programs like Project Sincere, we try to make sure that there is a place, a platform, an opportunity for us to get this information to our family, the WVON listeners, the Lion's Den, and all the parents out there looking for creative, positive, structured activities for their young people. And one of those is Project Sincere. And here to talk to us about it is Executive Director and Co-Founder of Project Sincere, Jason Coleman. Jason, welcome to the WVON Morning Show. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you great. Now, Jason, first of all, let me say what's up. My man Todd said that he was reading over the press release, and he like, man, this STEM program is right down the street from his house on 9012 South Stony Island. Now, what I want to know is, Jason, what is actually Project Sincere?
Yeah, so Project Sincere is a nonprofit that myself and two friends started about 10 years ago. We saw the need to really try to provide young people with the opportunities to engage in STEM opportunities early on, specifically engineering. I'm an engineer myself, and I didn't have these types of opportunities when I was growing up, so we wanted to make sure that young people had the opportunity to learn about new careers, become engaged in engineering in a hands-on type of way, and really try to provide them with the mentors and resources that they need to put them on a pathway to go to college to study engineering.
Now, hold on, Jason, let me stop you real quick, because I think one of the things that I hear tossed around a lot is this whole concept of STEM. STEM, it's an abbreviation, but and you know how people say words all the time but don't know what it means? You can't answer that right now, bro. You gotta tell them they gotta wait. When you hear the word STEM, I think people say, oh yeah, STEM, ha ha ha, yeah, I'm down with that. Tell me, what does STEM actually mean?
So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But, for me as an engineer, it really represents the innovation and the technology and the creation of all the things that really change the way that we live, work, and play. It stands at the forefront of revolutionizing the world in which we live. So it's really important field, and it's really important that we have diversity within these professions as well.
Now, Jason,
Jason, what kind of engineer are you?
I'm a mechanical engineer. I practiced engineering for 10 years prior to starting Project Sincere back in 2008.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to college at the University of Southern California, but I'm a Chicago native. I grew up in the Maryland community, right here on the South Side. So, I'm a Chicago guy.
You good, fam? You good? He thought we was gonna hit him.
No, I grew up in 85th and Blackstone. I still live in 85th and Blackstone.
He thought we was finna hit him when we asked him where you go to school. He thought he was finna hit him with you're not from Chicago, bro. No, you're doing good things and putting back in our community. Now, tell me about what is happening. What's happening this weekend? You've got the Empowered Games, stimulating positive change, and what's going on this weekend?
So it's actually today.
Oh, that's right, my fault.
So we're actually at the Wintrust Arena right now, and so for the last 10 weeks we've partnered with 20 schools to implement our Empowered programs in 20 schools throughout the South and West Side community to really try to engage students in engineering early on and kind of give them an opportunity to develop skills around engineering. And so today at the Wintrust, we're hosting nearly 500 students to give them an opportunity to showcase the skills that they've learned over the previous 10 weeks through competition. So we have nearly 500 students. We have over 140 volunteers from a lot of our corporate sponsors, including Boeing, ComEd, People's Gas, Office of the Middle, and other folks come out and engage with the kids throughout the day as well. So the kids are going to participate in 2 different engineering challenges focused around mechanical engineering. And then we'll reward 10 teams, so there are roughly 100 teams, and then we'll also reward the top 3 schools who have the highest point totals throughout the day.
Now, Jason, how can people come check this out? Is this something they can see live, or is it just go ahead? Tell us how.
So the event is open to the public. There's no charge. We really want to create more awareness around what we're doing in the community and how our Black and Brown communities are doing positive things to kind of change their lives. Too often there's only a negative image, a narrative focused around black and brown youth throughout Chicago. So we're really trying to highlight some of the great things that our youth are doing in Chicago.
And what time is it?
So the event kicks off at 9:30 and it ends about 3 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, Jason. So this is an annual thing. I feel like I saw this last year, didn't I?
Yeah, so last year was our first year doing the actual competition. It was at the Museum of Science and Industry. And this year we changed the venue to the Wet Truck to really make it seem more of a competition. The arena kind of gives a better vibe of competition. And we want to let students know that, engineering and science is a competitive sport as well. And really try to create more buzz and energy around what we're doing and what the kids are doing in engineering.
All right, that is Jason Coleman. He's the executive director and co-founder of Project Sincere. They have their big event today. Yeah, you know what? I think this is so awesome. When I got to University of Illinois, there was so many white kids. I was like, what are you doing down here? They were like, I'm going to engineering. I was like, what the hell are you going to college for to be a janitor? Not realizing that engineering was something way bigger, and it's what made this country go. So, Jason, we appreciate what you're doing. Do not stop, and we will do our best to support you in the future. It's the WVON Morning Show. When we come back, we will be talking about the thin blue lie, the failure of high-tech policing. Y'all, you're going to want to hear this, because everything we have been talking about that we want as police reforms really seem to be working against us. Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
The talk of Chicago and the voice.
What's up, y'all? I need advertisers. People who want to. And look, you see how they be doing that? See how the man called me Glenn Hurston. You called me to go ahead and do the interview. You ain't call us the host. You don't need a host. 20 events, you know what I mean? 20 events at $500 a pop. That could have been great, man. Write me in the budget, dog. See, that's what I'm talking about. See how black people, Ty, we could have hosted that. You could have been like the engineering geek, and I could have been the, right? And we could have played with the kids and went around and judged.
Oh, Glenn Harrison is the one who...
Yep.
Oh, okay.
See, man, see that? See how y'all got to make a deposit so you can get withdrawals. What's up, Zamir, all the way from Pakistan? Tell Sophia Anjan we said, what's up? Frank Coconati. Ooh, Todd. What up? You bringing out all the big guys. What up, Randy? What up, Dave, Lil Dave?
They're interested in the world, too.
What up, James Torch? What up, Your Honor?
The Honorable.
All right, y'all, take a moment, share the broadcast, share the broadcast, share the broadcast.
Okay, chorus line. I saw a chorus line when I was in college.
What up, Deborah? What up, Tiger Lily? What up, Hassan El Amin? What up, Zamir Haider Awan, Pakistan? I'm still waiting on my invite to Pakistan. I'm trying to go to Pakistan and get my kick it on. What up, Randy Span? What up, Carlton Brown? What up, Lil Dave? What up, William Torch? What up, Your Honor? What up, Milton? Salim Uwakil? What up, Ronald Rulak? Hey, y'all know I'm speaking at the College of DuPage today from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
COD.
on the history of hip-hop. You know, I'm going to focus a lot of time on the golden era, and I'm also going to talk about...
and when would that be, sir?
The golden era of hip-hop. It would be in the late 80s, early 90s. Late 80s, well, I would say actually the 90s was the golden era of hip-hop. Like during the Puffy era, and it actually started probably 92 92, 93. It was the era of the shiny suit, the Biggie, the Puffy, so you had the precursor.
You see the shiny suit?
Yeah, you know Puffy and the shiny suits. Then you went all the way, the golden era probably ended right in the early 2000s, like right after the Jay-Z. I would say it ended, like the real hype ended after Blueprint 1.
So I guess I should ask, when did hip hop start?
I would say hip hop started I would say it really started when it took off would be 78, 79 with Rapper's Delight. I think now you got to give Kool Herc and all of those guys their props in New York. I think it became a national phenomenon with.
8 o'clock information.
Oh yeah, I think so. You can put it up here though. You can put his information and stuff up here. So, I think you think about. So then, Salim, if you say that's 88 to 95, then when would you say? What would you call? Would I name that the Jay-Z era? So, because I say 95, 96 is when it took off. Y'all got hip-hop starting in the South Bronx. So you got Kool Herc, right? Then you go from Kool Herc to really like Africa, the Kool Herc-ish, then to Africa Bambaataa, which I feel like when I look at the Africa Bambaataa stuff now, I feel like there was a gay subculture somewhere tied up in there, but I'm going to let that be. Then I think you go from that to, remember The Message, and then you got like Run DMC.
Do you remember The Message?
And then
You can't be black and not know The Message.
Sure you can.
They can't.
So Terrence is saying 88 to 99. I think 88 might be a little young, but I think 99 could go. 90 to, no. Then there must be a golden era 1 and 2. Because there was like the first wave, and then there was like the Puffy wave when the money hit. So you got like, I feel like there's the time when the era, so you might say the first golden era was when it wasn't just one album every month. Because remember when it was, you could only get one hip hop record a month, if that much. Then it went to, man, I remember we was waiting for Fear of a Black Planet. I think I took the golden era, Salim, as to mean when the economic part of it and it was the merger, right? So then I'm gonna call it the platinum era if you calling it that, because the Mr. Roboto. Be like,
Dream who I am, secret, I got a secret. The modern man. I've got a secret I've been hiding under my skin. My blood is boiling, my brain IBM. Baby, acting strangely, be surprised. Just a man who's seen someone and someone to hide, to keep me alive, to keep me alive. Keep me alive. without emotion. What you see? With your problems, so we could be free. I'm not a hero. I'm not your savior. Did you know? Just a man whose circumstances went beyond his control.
You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. You know how we do at the top of the hour. Gotta say what's up to the top to the WVON morning show team. That singing in the background is Todd Stroger. Todd, what you know about Mr. Roboto?
Man, that's my college years. This was like a show, and I was at Wisconsin, and they would not go on because things fell apart and they couldn't do the whole show. So Dennis DeYoung was like, "I'm not going."
So you did not. So I am
I
going
wasn't
to
going
say,
to the show anyway because I didn't have that kind of money.
out to go see Mr. Roboto. All right, then you go.
And you know, of course, that
Yes.
Six is from Chicago.
Ah, that's right. Sticks. Actually, I used to sell used cars with a white dude who was a former member of Styx. I can't remember his
Really?
name, but yeah, he fell off and they kept going. And it was like, but he was part of the band. All right, let me say what's up to the rest of the WVON morning show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as the Wonder Twins, Sonia Escobar, who is back there doing the robot as we speak, as well as Sonia Tompkins. I've been trying to get that. She does the whole thing where you make your arm hang and link. She got that down good. I'd be like, she move her head and be like, and then got but you have to see it on Facebook Live. Hey guys, I also want to remind you, do not forget tomorrow night, The Hate You Give. Perry Small is hosting The Hate You Give at the Black Box Theater at 63rd and hosted almost at the Black Box Theater. You do not want to miss this third film in the WVON Heritage Film Series that features our own Common as well as George Tillman Jr. talking about the response of a black teen when they see their friend as a victim of police violence. Now, it's going to be, again, hosted by Perry Small. Admission is $8. That is, unless you've got your VIP, your WVON movie pass, and then you can get in for free. Now, you can get more information at WVON.com, or you can go to the Facebook page. As always, this is powered by ComEd and the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. You know what, the reason, y'all know we try to do a little theme work with our musical choices. And in this case, the reason we chose Mr. Roboto was because, I don't know if you all remember the film RoboCop, but RoboCop was the ultimate technology crime fighting machine. He was judge, jury, and executioner all in the same spot. Well, you know, I think about these movies and people are like, oh, that'll never happen, that'll never happen. And then, what was that movie with Arnold?
It would really be more like Judge Dredd. But
Okay.
I hate to argue over a little bit.
Okay. But remember, what was the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger when they were walking? No. When they were walking through the machine and you could see it was like an X-ray machine. No. Okay, stop. No. But anyway, it was about technology and being watched everywhere we go. Then we think about what happened with Jussie Smollett and all of the cameras, right?
Oh,
and
I think that was Total Recall.
There it is, Total Recall.
Yeah.
But there's cameras everywhere that you could not commit a crime because everything that you try to do, it was recorded on camera, they had you, etc. We think about the DNA, we think about retina eye scans, but even in the era of violence with police, as we've seen it on social media, we have called for body cameras. We've called for usage of tasers. We've asked to start tracking people at a different level. Well,
I think they're going to ask for more, I think this will come up soon, more guns that are rubber bullets and beanbags.
Got it. So basically there's been a move towards technology and high technology when it comes to solving crimes. But today we have on the line Matt Stroud. He's an investigative journalist and an author of The Thin Blue Lie. Not line, but lie. The failures of high-tech policing. And I want to talk to Matthew because it seems like with the Laquan McDonald taping, it seemed as though it led to a call for more body cameras and more policing and more tasers, etc. But Matt is here to talk to us about the failures of technology and policing. WVON family, welcome to the morning show, Matt Stroud. Matt, how are you today?
Great. How are you? And thanks for having me.
Man, well, I'm glad to have you. So, Matt, the premise of the thin blue lie, the failures of high-tech policing. What do you mean the failures of high-tech policing? Everything that I have heard by getting cameras, by using stun guns, by tasers, by using body cameras are all improvements in making us safer in our interaction with law enforcement. You refute that. Why?
I do refute that. And, by the way, the movie that you were looking for is Demolition Man.
Ah, there it goes. Demolition Man. Okay, got it.
It was an amazing piece of cinema.
Got it. So talk.
But you mentioned Laquan McDonald. I mean, just think about the circumstances there. You have a circumstance where a young black man is killed, and there is wrangling for 14 months about video evidence that shows exactly what happened. And then finally the video evidence is shown. And in response to the protests, the totally valid protests that happened at that time, Rahm Emanuel has a press conference, police leaders are there, and they make, actually two press conferences, and they make an announcement that the solution to the policing problem that Laquan McDonald's death showed is that, one, we're going to spend millions of dollars on body cameras, and two, we're going to spend millions of dollars on tasers. So if you look at it, just think about that circumstance. The problem was not that video footage was not available. The video footage was available, and the city of Chicago made the decision that they were not going to make that video footage available. And so they've decided to solve a problem that did not exist by spending millions and millions of dollars. And it's a perfect example of the kinds of solutions that this is what government leaders do across the country and police leaders do across the country. When they see a big policing problem, their response is to spend a whole bunch of money on technology. And the technology very rarely solves the actual problem they're looking to solve.
Now, let me ask a question, because, Matt, I was looking at the notes to this, and you're suggesting that body cameras don't stop police officers from killing people? Come on now. Everybody needs a body camera.
They don't even stop police officers from acting in the way that they act. So it doesn't. So right after Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson, I did a lot of reporting on body cameras. I went out to Scottsdale, Arizona to talk to the people who make body cameras at Taser International. I was very much behind the idea because it sounds like a good one. If you put a video camera on a police officer and you say, all right, that footage is going to be public, it makes sense. But what has happened in the meantime, from 2014 to now, is you've had states all over the country, as well as police, who have made the decision that they're not going to release this camera footage. If Michael Brown was killed today and Darren Wilson was wearing a body camera, I am not confident that body camera footage would be made public. In fact, I'm confident that it would not. And so the technology that would have solved that problem, that would have made that interaction public, it just wouldn't happen.
But that is not a problem with the technology. That is a problem with the system. That's where the people get together and they force the government to do what is in the best interest of the people, not as what is in the best interest of the police department.
I mean, that's absolutely right. And so, the premise of the book is you have these technologies that could be helpful. But in most circumstances, they aren't. Either because, sometimes the technologies are not helpful. And in other circumstances, because city leaders just make decisions that go against the actual solution that they're pushing for.
Now, let me go, because you also spoke about tasers and the call for more tasers as an alternative to shooting people. And Todd was talking about using new technology along those lines. You seem to have a challenge with tasers?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's actually the bit of data that describes this best is out of the University of Chicago. I mean, they tested more than 35,000 cases, right? where a taser was used. And what they showed, or police interactions, and what they showed is that the taser does not affect the use of firearms in any significant way. So tasers were sold as this alternative to firearms. So police officers are not going to use their firearms, and instead they're going to turn to a taser. That just has proven over years and years to not be true at all.
Now, Matt, the thing that really starts to concern me now is we've got cameras everywhere and we've got data collection everywhere. They're reading every license plate that comes into a city and outside of a city. But it seems like all of these solutions are really only making contractors rich. I am concerned about where is all this data that is being collected in the name of crime actually being warehoused, and what are they using it for?
Well, have you followed the Amazon situation at all?
Tell me real quickly.
So Amazon has a product, I believe it's called Recognition, and the product itself is, it scans, they're using facial recognition technology to scan video footage and then compare it with databases of licenses. And this is kind of an old idea. Like, the idea is that you have cameras everywhere. If police are looking to investigate a certain circumstance and they have video footage available, they can look at that video footage and compare faces that end up in the video footage with databases that are being, warehoused by states all over the country. And so, to answer your question, the states still have the data, but they're giving that data over to major companies like Amazon and like Axon Enterprise, which is kind of the market leader in body cameras. And there is definitely reason for concern.
So the thing that I seem to see here, Matt, is that there seems to be a move away from the police officer and interactions with the community to a complete reliance on technology to solve the crimes. How does that play out long term, particularly in communities like the Black community that are plagued with both crime and issues with a distrust of the police?
I could ask you the same question, and I would be very curious to hear your answer to that. But from my observation, I'll tell you, I was at a community market the other day in a Black community in Pittsburgh, and I was having a conversation with the person behind the counter, and a police officer showed up. And that police officer was a motorcycle cop, and when he showed up, this is at night, so it's dark outside. He's wearing sunglasses, he keeps his helmet on, and when he comes up to the counter, by the way, cutting in front of me, he puts the pack of gum, and he wants to get some Skoal from behind the counter. He does that. He makes that purchase. He never says anything to anybody in the bodega itself, and then just leaves. He was wearing a body camera. He had a taser. He had a firearm on him, but no interaction with anybody in that store at all. And I think that is representative of what we're seeing. We're seeing that police officers are being encouraged to stay in their cruisers, to wear their sunglasses at night, to not really interact with people because they're able to use technology and the computers in their cars or on their phones to do the work that they're being asked to do. I think that just doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to you?
Not at all. Matt, I'm going to tell you, we're running out of time, but I want you to tell people how they can get the book Thin Blue Lie, The Failures of High-Tech Policing. Tell people how they can find the book and how they can find you.
Thank you very much. You can Google me. My name is Matt Stroud, S-T-R-O-U-D, and the name of the book is Thin Blue Lie, The Failure of High-Tech Policing. It is available on Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, everywhere you can buy books.
My man, that is Matt Stroud, you all. I'm going to tell you something that we need to pay attention to because we are being subject to digital policing. But I want to bring something else up because what I heard when I read this was that all these things that we're spending millions of dollars on are not necessarily making us safer. But what do I always tell you? The pain and suffering of black people is always profitable for white folks. So even as we call for more body cameras that they won't release the footage for, guess what? They boy got the contract to do it. As we look around and we see all these cameras recording us on the city and violence still occurs, but they can track down Jussie Smollett's covered people, that means they can solve these crimes, y'all. But they need the pain and the suffering. They need the violence to justify continuing to spend the money. Hey, look, y'all. This is the WVON Morning Show. I don't know where the time went. But for Annette Flournoy, for the Wonder Twins, Sonia Escobar, as well as Sonia Tompkins, for my man, Todd Stroger, I am the host of the WVON Morning Show, Maze Jackson. UBR is up next. But if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace. Yeah. Y'all take a moment, share the broadcast. It's the WVON Morning Show. Please get your tickets to, there will be an Eventbrite page. Please get your tickets to our What's in It for the Black People fundraiser. Also, today, 2 o'clock, I will be at College of DuPage speaking on the history of hip-hop and how it has affected us to this day. I'm going to just tell y'all what. If I would have known C. Dolores Tucker was right back in the day, she was. And just think, C. Dolores Tucker was the lady who protested Tupac and NWA and got the parental guidance and was like, this music is going to lead us down a path. And she was like, you are calling us. Yeah, I mean, I think like when we were kids, we was like, F C. Dolores Tucker. And now I'm like, man, I need C. Dolores Tucker because I don't want my kids listening to that crap. I feel like my kids will see me outside rolling over. One day I was listening to some song on WGCI, and I'm going to be honest with you, I could not believe that they would even play a song like that, because the song straight up talked about murder, death, and killing people. And the kid was like, I'm going to, and I guess it's no different than NWA, but it seemed like it was so much different than NWA. NWA, it seemed like it was telling
so much different.
NWA was telling stories. I feel like these kids, not that none of the stories never happened, but I feel like they were like encouraging it to happen. Not telling a story, but like, yo, okay, I got a crazy, super stupid day. And I got to run all over the place. Man, I really wish we could get there. I really wish I could record the podcast here.
Oh, yeah?
Take a moment. Share the broadcast, y'all. Did you share? I know we're going a little early today. I got so much to do. So many places to do. I wear my sunglasses at night.
Between you and Q King.
Me and who?
Quentin King.
Oh.
Like, you know what? I'm going to have to tell Brandon. Brandon, I'd like to work with you, but I need to retain it for this.
No, I mean, I think, like, here's the thing. Brandon is paying people. And so, my thing is, it's like they'll tell you to consult them, they'll take all your stuff and then go pay somebody white or pay somebody else to send the press release out. And so, and quiet as it's kept, the only reason, I'll be honest with you, the only reason I haven't attacked that ordinance is because of you. Right?
Oh, well.
No, seriously. I feel like that ordinance is, that's another one of those classic liberal ass ideas that does not take into account the real people. And
you might be completely right. I've only read the press release. I don't really know anything about the ordinance.
Well, I'm going to tell you that having been a landlord and knowing that there are people that professionally make it their job to tell you you can't get kicked out, right, you can't leave, you can't whatever, that to me is crippling them in their own property. And so that's how you get, it's like by not giving people the ability to, I don't think black folks that own property in the neighborhoods are running around discriminating against people, but they know who they don't want in their building. And I'm saying, when you have you ever been to a building where you know the people that are moving into the building ain't gonna treat your stuff right? And it's like, it's easy to make up these rules and it sounds good, and it's like to say that it's, it's preventing ex-offenders from getting a start, but I think you could come up with a better way than making sure that people can't screen. You taking out the screening, I'm sorry. Y'all know we got people that be like, they know the rules of how to stay in a place, and, well, man.
They know better than you. I remember when Lance said he was interviewing a lady, and he said, that...
What up? Good morning. Oh. Okay. Yes. That would be beautiful, and then I don't have to drive all the way out there. That would be great. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I think I'm good. I gotta just check my schedule, so I'll let you know today, but I'm pretty sure. All right. No problem. Bye.
Taking some stress off of you?
Man, that would be great if I don't have to go all the way out to Elk Grove, and I can record my podcast here.